Okay. I am so excited to be here with you guys today. So excited. My goodness. Can you believe this? My name is Gloria Mayfield Banks, and I'm so excited to be with you, each and every one of you. Thank you for joining us on this webinar that's going to be full of wisdom. Now, it would not be smart for me to start without saying my affirmation. So I am so glad that you came here hungry. You decided to turn off your phone, or at least turn it down. You decided to block off any distractions you wanted. Because when I tell you that I have an idea in my head that I'm going to carry out tonight to pass as much wisdom as I possibly can, the top 10 things that have made a difference for me to get to the very, very tip top. And I'm so excited to be here with you tonight. So, living, caring, giving, sharing. Boy, oh boy, I love to work with the daring. A magic million. Can you imagine such? Of course you can. We've got the touch. I'm small in stature only, but I'm heavy in belief. I'm leading by example, so you can count on me as I flash this $1 million smile. The world will know it's all worthwhile because I'm banking on the magic, banking on success, banking on some people who simply want the best. I'm so proud to be before you. I'm proud to be top ranked. I'm elite executive national sales director. My name is Gloria Mayfield Banks. 24 hours. My last 24 hours as an active national sales director after 33 years. Ooh, so close to 34. In February, it would have been 34 years. But you know, let me just be clear with you. Tonight, it's about you. Tonight, it is about you and making sure that you have some of what you need to have a quantum leap. We are getting ready to go into 22. And anybody knows me long, you know I love rhymes. I love acronyms. I love things that make me think, make me remember, make me just move people with it. So there's more to do in 2022. There's more to do in 2022. Oh my gosh, you need to get ready. Now, this is what you're going to need. You're going to need some paper, and you're going to need a pen or a pencil, because you're going to be taking some notes for sure. And now remember, if you've never heard me teach before, the way I think about it is this. What I say tonight, it might be for you. And what I say tonight, it might be for someone you're leading or training, inspiring, or influencing. I've come across a couple things that make my heart go sing, sing, happy, happy, happy. One is women lead. Women lead. They lead themselves, women who lead women, but women lead without a doubt. Women lead. And I will tell you, I will never forget that August when God spoke to my heart and he said to me, Gloria, your purpose is to take people from ordinary to extraordinary. Now, I want to tell you, this is after I've been an entrepreneur for many years, but I heard it clearly. And I know it resonated with me and others, because every time I told somebody this, they kept saying, yeah, Gloria, yeah. Now, listen, tonight, although you got your pen and your paper, we're going to fire up that chat. We are going to fire up that chat. When I said join us, it's me and you, but us is the relationship. Some of you are going to create relationships for the first time because you're operating in the chat, and someone is going to learn from you because of the things you say. Now, I hope that you light up the chat with telling people where you live. Light up the chat with pride of the part of the country that you're from. Oh my gosh, you guys, I have to stop and say, with all the things that are going on in our world today, we have to all stand up and be as brilliant as we possibly can in this season that we're navigating through. I want to tell you, if I know you personally, and if I don't know you, I want you to hear from me how proud I am of you and your tremendous desire to navigate through this time period. You never know about tomorrow. Isn't that right? I don't know how many of you like me, but I do wake up in the morning and I need to get that like 5 or 10 minutes. I just want to know what's going on. That's me. That's just me. I want to know what's going on. And it's true that every day it's something different and every day it's something big. And I will talk about how to handle that in this season that we're living in right now. Now, I'm not talking to any particular type of woman, but I am drawn to the AWW, the ambitious winning woman. I want to tell you that as I share this, I want you to know I embrace people who want small success. I embrace people who want medium success. And I embrace people who want large success. I think it's important that we learn to embrace everybody where they are because your seasons will change. I'm going to tell you just a little bit about myself, just a little bit about my story. I'm originally from Detroit, Michigan. Proud to be a Midwest girl from Detroit, Michigan. I'm the third of 4 girls. And when I was in the 7th grade, they found out I had a reading disorder. I'm dyslexic. And you guys, let me say this to you. Write this down early, right now. Write it down right now. Shame is your enemy. Shame is your energy. You have no idea how many times I speak from a big, big stage, and women will come up to me afterwards and say, wow, how do you tell people you're dyslexic? Wow. Do your people at work know? Wow. And I'm like, yeah, everybody knows because I've been in a place where I let shame be my guide, and it will keep you down. It'll keep you quiet, and it can be the heaviest thing you carry. What is that? The heaviest thing you carry is a secret. A secret. I'm not telling you to go blab your business, but I am telling you that if you don't have to carry the secret, choose not to, because your ability to be transparent with others will increase your influence dramatically. Learn to tell your truth and learn to tell your story. I will tell you, becoming a storyteller, write it down. Becoming a storyteller. Today, I was talking to someone and she was telling me, oh my gosh, you guys, I'm just so fired up by ambitious women who get a chance to tell me their story and how they push through. Right now, life's dramas are big, big, and she's still pressing through to the goal. And so I said to her I said, tell me about yourself. Tell me about yourself. And so she unrolled her story. And I was like, oh my gosh, your life and your story. And she said, Gloria, you taught me that. You taught me how to be a strong storyteller. So I just want to tell you guys, it's important, but shame many times will cut your story short. Well, for me, I was dyslexic. School was hard. School was hard. Reading was, is, and may always be hard for me, but I pushed through. So I went on to high school. In fact, there was a teacher that was the teacher that made such a difference for me. She believed in me. She saw me as smart and she saw me as fast. This is so interesting. I was in a business course with her and I could really type. Like I was one of the fastest typers at my high school. I know, typewriter, not computer, typewriter, but I was one of the fastest typists. I know. Now, spelling ain't my thing as a dyslexic person, but if I could see it, I could spell it. And I was great. So anyway, she believed in me. She called my mom. She told my mom, she says, Gloria's very smart. She's just dyslexic. And so I just want to tell you that story because I want to remind you that each of us has the capacity and the power of making a difference in other people's lives. One of my secret sauce that you'll hear about tonight is the power of serving others. If you think you're working to work, you could be missing the point of the part that gives you the most joy. A big part of the joy is your ability to serve others. She served me when I was young. I understood what that did for me. I used to go to high school. to get on the bus and go to high school, then a bus to get to downtown Wayne State, then a bus back to high school, then an hour or two of cheerleading practice. You know, I was a cheerleader. You know, I was a captain. And then an hour home. So I'm used to going hard in the paint for long distance to do different things. So I want you to look back. I want you to look back at your life. Do me a favor, look back at your life and see where you were strong. Because one of the things that I have done really well in helping women have a quantum leap is to remind them who they are. Remember, life will stop you from remembering who you've been, because it'll help you focus on your weaknesses and focus on your fears. Anyway, I went on from high school to Howard University in Washington, D.C. And I used to work a lot there. I remember my mom telling me, don't get a job, Gloria, don't get a job, don't get a job. We just want you to be academically focused. And then she sent me a check for $25. And she said, that's going to last you. I was like, last me how long? For real. And I'm not somebody who spends a lot of money, but I was like, oh no, this will not last. Got a part-time job. One of the best things I did, I used to be a cashier at the grocery store, Safeway grocery store, if you're around this part of the country. But I was a cashier. I know I'm dyslexic, but I like to work. I've always liked money. And I am unapologetic about it. So write this down, financial independence for women. One of the things that I want to tell you is, if you want to be really good at this, know what you stand for. Your job, as far as I'm concerned, is to be super bad all day long when you stand for something. And I stood for financial independence for women. And I still stand for that to this day. And I can tell you a little bit more about that. But anyway, I graduated from there. I moved to Boston. I worked for Polaroid for 2 years. And I decided, well, there must be more to life. So I went to Harvard Business School. I did. I went to Harvard Business School and I got my MBA. So proud. And what I want to tell you about direct selling and what we do, oh my gosh, you guys, seriously, it does not matter. So the person who was number one before me, she did not have a degree. And here I am, double degree with a PhD. My PhD, what do they call it? Honorary PhD in human services. And so, I mean, my name is Dr. Gloria Mayfield Banks. It is. And I deserve it, trust and believe. But that was me. And I went to Harvard, and then I went and worked for IBM, and then I left there and I started my business with Mary Kay Cosmetics. And oh my gosh, when I tell you, when I started this by telling you small, medium, large. When I started my business, my dream was very small. I wanted to make $200 extra a week to keep my kids in daycare. That's it. I wasn't thinking about entrepreneurship. That's it. I wasn't thinking about changing things. That's it. I wasn't even thinking about my next. I wasn't. Plus, it wasn't that I didn't have the $200 from the job that I had, because I want to tell you, I was a very well-paid executive in the marketing department at a computer company. My job as a marketing manager was to travel around the nation and find companies that would write software for the hardware that we sold. I mean, I'm telling you, it wasn't that I wasn't making enough money to take money from that and do whatever here, but I wanted more. Anybody on here want more? If you're in the chat, I want you to write the word M-O-R-E. Do you want more? Because if you do, we got lots to talk about. So I want to tell you, I left a 10-year domestic violence marriage. And I want to tell you a little bit about that, because again, shame is the number one cause of women staying in domestic violence. And I know that because I was there myself. My mother didn't know it. My sisters didn't know it. Nobody knew it. And I stayed there for 10 years. 2 beautiful children came out of that, though. 2 amazing children. And then I was a single parent for 7 years, building my business, winning my pink Cadillac as a brand new single parent. I will tell you, the reason that I can chow down on goals and the reason I can teach other people to chow down on goals is because when you become spectacular at winning and meeting and exceeding goals, your life changes because of the process. You learn how to focus. You learn how to increase your income. You learn how to increase your choices. And more importantly, your confidence goes up. I am a confidence building expert for sure. And I want to tell you how that places. I honestly believe that after faith and integrity, the thing you need the most is confidence. So we're going to go a little bit into that. But I want to tell you, if you've ever heard me before, you've seen me teach, you know my favorite poem is Our Deepest Fear. And I want to read a little bit about it. I'm not going to read the whole poem to you, but there's some lines in it that are so important. It was written by Marianne Williamson. It was made famous by Nelson Mandela. And it's spread by Gloria Mayfield Banks. Okay. So our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we're powerful beyond measure. I want you to remember that line as I teach some more tonight. Your playing small doesn't serve the world. If you're done with playing small, I need you to put it in the chat. I need you to put it in the chat. I am done with small. I'm done with small. There's more to do in 2022. And if you know there's more to do in 2022, as I move on to my next, I hope you move on with me because your playing small doesn't serve the world. There's nothing enlightened. So others, there's nothing enlightened about shrinking. So other people won't feel insecure around you. Can I please tell you? You know, the beginning of my affirmation, living, caring, giving, sharing. Boy, oh boy, I love to work with the daring because I do love to work with the daring. And I do want to tell you that when you decide to be bold and when you decide to be successful, you will make other people uncomfortable because your choices make other people think about what they did not choose to do. So do you shrink so that the people around you are going to be more comfortable? Or do you live out your truth? Your truth. Your truth. So we were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. Let me say that one more time. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. Right? And as we are liberated from our own fears, our presence automatically liberates others. I honestly believe that I liberated myself. I honestly believe I chose a business and a company that was vested in liberating me. I honestly believe part of my job was to liberate others. And so therefore, it made what I was doing a blessing to so many others. And that's what keeps me focused. That's what gets me excited. And that's what has me here 33 years later, still super excited about this opportunity, about your opportunity, and about your quantum leap. I have to tell you, I wrote a book. It's called The Quantum Leap. 10 steps to help you soar. Now, I'm not going to talk about those 10 steps tonight, but I want to tell you that if you are someone who has not gotten the book, you are more than welcome to go and get the book. And you'll be able to see it here on nextwithgloria.com. And you're going to be able to get the book, Quantum Leap. And I want you to know it is a beautiful book, but it is not a table book. It is a how-to book. I mean, when you get it, I expect you to highlight it, underline it, take notes in it, share pieces of it, take pictures of it, put it on your social media. I know, I'm sort of strange the way I talk. Boom. I love music, right? I do. I love music. I love music. And my husband's like, Gloria, your head beats in the beats beat in your head like constantly. And they do. I do want to tell you, after I was a single parent for 7 years, I married Mr. Ken Banks. I know. An amazing entrepreneur in his own right. I mean, an amazing entrepreneur. And so he had 2 children. I had 2 children. He had a small business. I had a small business. Now he has a gigantic business. And he is a world-renowned financial international negotiator. And he's owned a huge construction company for many years in Baltimore. And I will tell you, and as I tell him, and as I tell everybody else, what I loved about him the most was that it takes a strong man to lift a powerful woman. He always supported me and pushed me to be the best that I could be. And as we navigated our life together, 25 years married, 30 years together, 4 amazing children, 4 amazing children. Keenan, who's a software engineer. Oh my gosh, you guys, seriously. I know he runs the Daily Beast. He's the technology arm behind the Daily Beast. I know. And then Rakenya, who owns her own dog training business out of Atlanta, Georgia. Sit, stay, obey. It is phenomenal. If you have a dog, she's a dog whisperer. I mean, seriously. Juliana is an incredible international makeup artist and a brand new sales director. Oh my gosh. And Chauncey, who is a lawyer in the law firm in Detroit. I know. And his wife, Erica. Oh my gosh, my daughter-in-law. And Virginia has 3 girls. Erica has 2 boys. Together, it's amazing. And Erica is a brand new sales director. So I'm telling you, I'm excited to teach this. I'm excited to teach you. Okay, so we're going to go, because I told you, you're going to need paper and you're going to need pen. I'm going to go to number 1, which is my first point that I want to go to, that I think is really important that you guys know that for me, I embraced my profession in sales. Proud of my profession in sales. Here's what I want to tell you. I happen to know sometimes we tend to tiptoe around the profession of sales. And I'm telling you, sit up straight, be bold, and understand why your profession is so important. I never shied away from my pride of being in sales. And you know, every single profession has some people talking about the negative pieces of that profession. However, it doesn't penetrate you until they start talking about your profession. So I'm here to tell you, I don't care what you hear. Everybody needs to know how to sell. And everybody sells. You know, my mom was a teacher and a nurse. I could not be a nurse if you paid me $1 million. I could not, because I'm squeamish and I'm not that great around blood. I'm just not the one. Like, if you get sick, I ain't the girlfriend. Like, I can do a lot of things, but that ain't one of them. And the reason I tell you that is because even as a nurse, I've been in the hospital plenty of times, had 2 babies, blah, 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 blah. The nurse has to sell her patients many times on taking an IV, on taking the medicine. How about if you've ever had an operation and you went under anesthesia and you have to get up and walk around so you can, you know, get things moving. She has to sell them on that. So when I tell you, I understand the value of the profession of sales. I want to tell you, you know, when I speak next month, you know, what I plan to talk about is this career is not a career. It's a gift. And I think it's a gift because it's around sales. And I think sales allows you to turn skill set into something that people appreciate. Under this level, I want you to write down that my job is to help you see what I have against what you value. If you have money, you value that money. And if what I have is something you want, my job is to show you the value if you want it. That's why sales has been good for me, because if you don't want what I have, I'm okay with it. If you want it, I'm okay with it. Okay, so please understand, first, it is your perception of what you do. And I understand that what I do is not to persuade you to get what you don't want. My job is to persuade you to get what you've always wanted, and you were too afraid to do it, too afraid to try it, too afraid to buy it, or you just didn't. And now's your opportunity. So I will tell you, I was good at it, and I am good at it. I've gone from selling computers to selling skincare and glamour. And I'm here to tell you whatever it is that you're selling, whether it's a child taking out the garbage, whether it's somebody taking their IV, whether it's skincare, it's sales. And you have to know sales is skilled based. See, this is awesome. Sales is skilled based. Let me tell you some of the things I loved about it. I want to tell you that when I was in college, I had a professor, and that professor, he explained to me something about sales that I loved. He said, this is not going to be subjective. It's going to be objective. Either you sell it or you don't, and no one will ever be able to take that away from you. And that was important to me. I even knew at that time that that was going to be something that was going to be so important to me. Now, I know some of you are taking a picture and putting this on your social media and tagging me in your stories. I know that you are. You're tagging me in your stories, right? Like, for real? Okay, so, because you know I'm all about it. I'm all about it. I want to tell you that one of the things that I did really well was I taught people how to win. I don't teach people how to work. You teach people how to win. You guys, when I'm in front of a customer and I have a product in front of her, what is that product going to do for you? How is that product going to help you win? How's it going to make you feel better? How's it going to make you look better? Because when you look better, you feel better. How's it going to make you present yourself better to someone else who needs to listen to what you have to say? How's it going to increase the way you feel, the confidence that you bring? How are you going to win at this? How does buying this help you win? When I had team members, how does doing what you're afraid to do help you win? Not this is what you need to do, but how does doing this help you win? I want you to write down something else. I loved the scoreboard of sales. Why, Gloria? Why do you love the scoreboard? Well, I want to tell you this. Number one, I started my business, number one, for the money. And I fell in love with my business because of the recognition. And I grew in my business because of the competition. Two scoreboards. My scoreboard against what I was doing for growth. The second scoreboard was who I was competing against. Hey, competition is only a bad word if you have to hurt other people to get there. I love the Bible verse, iron sharpens iron. I've used it all the time. And I know that my running for something big does a couple of things. Number one, it increases my passion, it increases my focus, and it increases my joy. Number two, the people that are running next to me become better. I became better when I would run to do what someone else had done. And if you run correctly, not by comparing, but by grabbing from them what you need to copy the right cat. Okay. And the other thing that was so good is that when I would run for something on the scoreboard, the people that were on my team caught the fire and ran with me. You guys, step. It really worked so good. So I want you to know the profession of sales is skilled base. And so I studied it hard. And I want to ask you, as you go into 22, do you really have the skill? Are you willing to gain the skill? The scripts, the overcoming objections, are they memorized? Is your clothes practiced? Did you practice your clothes in front of the mirror so much that, bam, when you show that option to them, they're like, yes, that's what I want to do. Do you know how to lean in and talk low when it's important to talk low? Do you know that if you're funny, use your funniness, and if you're not funny, don't use it? Maybe you're an inspirational speaker. Maybe you're a hilarious speaker. Maybe you're an energetic speaker. Maybe you're a big storyteller. Whatever your gift is, decide what your gift is and make it better. Did you hear what I just said? Decide what your gift is and make it better, but be very prideful about your sales. Okay, we're going to keep going. Number two, so in love with number two. As I understood, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm going to leave this one up for just a second. I want you guys to see this for a second. I want you to write down next with Gloria. because I want to go with you. Some people are like, Gloria, where you going? Where you going? I'm going to my next, and I'm taking you with me. But more importantly, it is because I've had to create next so much. When you hear my story, you know I had to create next. And when you hear my business, you know I've gone from next to next to next. And you have to master your next with Gloria. I also want to tell you that if you're not connected with me in my community, you have to text me the word next to 410 264 1460 because I want to stay connected with those who want to stay connected with me. I'm excited about your quantum leap. And the reason I want to leave this up here is because if you're in direct sales, if you're in my pink world, if you know what I'm talking about here, so many times we get confused about entrepreneurship because we are doing it. You're not doing it. You're building a business with it. And from day one, I understood this, that whatever I invested into this business, I was going to get back from this business. So I worked super hard at the beginning. Did my kids have to sacrifice with me? Yes, they did, because that's what happens when you're an entrepreneur. That's what happened. And so did they always understand? No, man. I so remember when I was going to a meeting and I was all dressed up and I had my pins on and everything. I was going to this meeting. I went to this meeting every single week. And my son was crying, Mom, you're going to that meeting again. You're going. No, this is what he said. He said, Mom, where are you going? Where are you going? I said, I'm going to the meeting. You're going to that meeting again. I was like, I'm dressed like this. I'm going to this meeting all the time. Okay. However, when it was his birthday, I brought a bike from behind my house. He was so excited. I mean, he was so excited to get this bike. And my daughter was like, he got a bike. He got a bike. And I was like, here's another bike. I brought out 2 bikes. I mean, they were overjoyed. Like, it was crazy. I was living what people told me that you would be able to do one day. And I said, you know how I got 2 bikes? 2 bikes? Is because I go to those meetings every week. You know what he said? You just go to those meetings, Mom. You just go to those meetings. You just go to those meetings. Their world changes as well. Okay, so let's take some notes about entrepreneurship. Number 1, there's a big difference in how you think from being an entrepreneur and being an employee. There's a difference in the way that you think. I want to tell you that people ask me a lot of times, who's a major role model for me? And Mary Kay Ash was such a huge role model for me because of how she led, how she lived, what she wanted to create in that time. It was so important. Hold on one second. It was so important what she was doing. So I want you to know that Mary Kay Ash, in so many times, you guys, you have to look for role models. I truly hope that I'm a role model to many of you, but I want you to know there's a different type of thinking that you must cause yourself to have. And I think under the word entrepreneur is the word responsible. You're responsible for your choices. You're responsible for your results. You're responsible for your income. You're responsible for how you treat people. You're responsible for your investment. You're responsible for the time that you give to your business. You're responsible for the people you care for. You're responsible for customer service. You're responsible. When you work for someone else, you are limited by their description of what you're worth. When you're an entrepreneur, you are limited by your efforts. Wow. You guys, you can change on a dime if you want to. Not everything. Okay, so let me say this to you. Is it easy? No. It's a simple yes. When I say it's not easy, it's because it has to do with people. And people can hurt you. People can let you down. Who likes the word no? I don't like it. I still don't like it. 33 years later. No, 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 I don't want it. No, I don't want to do it. No, I don't want to be on your team. No, I don't want this. No, I don't want that. No, I don't want any more of that. No, I don't like this. No, I'm returning that. I don't like no. I don't like no. So stop acting like you're going to like it, because you're not. But I love yes. And the only way to get to yeses is to ask a lot of people. I want you to know that one of the key successes of me being an entrepreneur is that I knew how important my passion was. I knew how important the dream was. And I knew how important my mission was. Passion, my dream, my mission. Super important. And I knew that I didn't have to be good at everything, but I had to be good, really excellent at some things. But I didn't have to be good at everything. And I think sometimes we forget to prioritize the things that are so important for us to be good at. And I want to tell you that branding was important, seriously important. When you're an entrepreneur, and me being within, choosing entrepreneurship in this way, and I'm under the umbrella of a very powerful, very positive, very recognized name, I also had to find my own chart. And so I had to make that word magic, which was the name of my business. I had to make it come alive in the things I did, in my graphics, in my work, in my social media now. There are things that I do that make a difference. Okay, number 3. Are you ready? Belief in women. Belief in women. It has been one of my greatest assets. Belief in women. Okay, so I know it sort of sounds strange since we're women, but you have to believe in women, and you have to watch your words as well, because many times things that people have put in your head, and can you imagine the things that were put in my head because of domestic violence? I want you to know I had a phenomenal upbringing as a young woman. My parents were just shy of 62 years. They were phenomenal. However, it was important for me to honor the fact that every word that was given to me didn't serve me. Words are either a flower or a brick. And so I'm just here to tell you that I had a belief in women. And I remember listening to a tape, Mary Kay Ash. I called when I decided to do Mary Kay full-time and leave my employee job and work for myself and take total responsibility. I remember going there and I said, how am I going to get women to believe in what I know to be true? And she said, visualization, imagination. Watch the words that come out of your mouth. She said, act as if it's already done. So the other point I want you to know, for me, is no one has been able to convince me they cannot do Mary Kay. But they can convince me they don't want to do Mary Kay. I get that. I get it. You don't want to do Mary Kay? I get it. What turned me in such a powerful recruiter, such a powerful team builder? What did that? This is what I want you to get. This is why I want you to get my book, Quantum Leap. I want you to get the book, Quantum Leap, because I happen to know that when you get the skill set that teaches you these things, number one, women are looking for what we have. They're looking for freedom and flexibility. They're looking for increased income. They're looking for personal growth, and they're looking for a positive environment with powerful people. Those are the things they're looking for. And you have to have a belief in people. I've built internationally, 12 different countries, and I don't care what language we're talking. You have to talk the language that believes in them. Women are amazing. You can't convince me you can't learn how to do this. You've had children. You've raised them from the day they were born to the day they go to kindergarten. You've made every decision for them. Every decision for them. And now you're going to try to convince me that you can. Come on. No. So that's a big part of what I do. And you know, people ask me all the time, Gloria, what about ambitious women? And there's no one who has everything in what they have. No one. So I'm here to discover who has something that's missing and they might want to see if it's here. You see if it's here before you commit yourself. Don't try to get them to make the commitment before. Just ask them to take a peek in. Just peek in to see. And if you like it, you're smart, you stay. And if you don't, you leave. You guys, deciding something's not for you is not a killer. Staying in something you don't like to do, like a job, is a killer. Not all jobs are killer jobs. Some people love their jobs. I loved my job. I went back to work at Harvard Business School. After I left IBM, I worked for Harvard Business School, and I loved that job. I just happen to love this a whole lot more. That's just the bottom line. So I want you to know, believing in women. Okay, number 4. And I know you're like, she's only on number 4? Yeah, I'm on number 4. Number 4, just everything else is bullet, bullet, bullet. This is so the way I teach. Skill set. Skill was paramount to my ability to build my business. I want to give you a couple of keys. Number 1, I kept it simple. I didn't change a lot. People talk about it a lot and they change things. I didn't change a lot. I kept my skill set very simple. And I knew that there were 4 areas of skills that were important. And I call it Gloria's STEM. Ready? STEM. Skill set, time management, emotional management, and money management. Those 4 areas will stop you dead in your tracks. If you want something and you don't move forward, that's one. And these 4 things will propel you. If you really understand skill, if you really know you have the skill, you have the ability to bounce back from anything if you know your skill set. If you take the time to memorize, if you take the time. When I used to tell people, when you get your book about what you're supposed to do, don't just read it. You need paper. You need ink pen to take notes. You need a highlighter. You need to learn the art of studying so you can get the skill set. Time management. We all have the same 24 hours. Have you ever thought about that? We all have the same 24 hours. What do you do with your 24 hours, and how you handle your 24 hours is important. Emotional management. Need I say more? Women, need I say more? Write it in the chat. Write it in the chat. Write it in the chat. If you know emotional management is something that you have to gain more of, because with it, you can do so many things. And if you let your emotions guide your decisions, you will be sad, because emotions will take you places where you don't need to go. Oh my gosh, so many times for me and for people I've led. You know, sometimes you get a no and your director has to dig you out. Come on back, come on back, come on. All that effort, oh my gosh, craziness. Or she just keeps going. And money management. Good thing is you don't have to learn about money management until you have some of it. But I will tell you, just because you make more money doesn't mean just because you make more money doesn't mean you know how to manage it. Okay? So I'm really big on skill management. Okay, so these are the lessons that I've learned. And, you know, as you guys continue to follow me, you're going to hear me go deeper into these things. But I wanted to give you the 10 things that right now, after 33 years, and I lean into my wisdom, I wanted to share with you. So number five. Okay, let me lay this out for you. I happen to know that I have the gift of strategy. And strategy was my platform. I want to tell you, I know for a fact, God opened up my skull and he poured charisma in there. And he poured motivation in there. He poured an ability to have self-awareness. So I think about what I'm thinking about. And he poured strategy into my head. I'm telling you right now. And that's why I want you to text me next to 410-264-1460. And I'm going to say it over and over again because I'm taking you guys with me for real. No joke. This is because strategy and the ability, and the reason I tell you he gave it to me is because when we go through life, we tend to compare what other people have. And when we compare what other people have, we always lose because we compare their best to our worst. But guess what? He gave it to me. He gave you gifts. What are your gifts? Part of strategy is knowing how to identify your gifts and use your gifts to the best of your ability. And remember this, success is not defined by the money you make, it's defined by the progress and the joy you have in doing so. Okay, so let's talk about strategy. I teach Quantum Leap, and I don't apologize for it. I don't apologize for the fact that I prefer to teach women how to have huge quantum leaps and do big things and make big income if that's what they want to do. Big choices, big vacations, big homes, big clothes, big this. But if that's who you are, I love being extra. I love being extra. I want to tell you, one of our biggest strategies, it's been called the zip code. I've been teaching it since 1996. And it goes across so many things that we do. 5 new leads every day. 2 bookings into your books every day. 6 fresh faces, 6 fresh customers every week. 3 solid interviews for people who are important in your business every week. And 1 accountability sheet. Because if you don't track what you're doing, and if you're not accountable to anyone else, it's so easy for you to hide out. And I'm going to say this to you. If you've ever been stuck in any place where you've wanted to grow, one of the major areas it shows up in is lack of accountability. Even the coaches have coaches, and they're right here in your business. You don't have to go anywhere else. It's right here. But are you choosing to be accountable? I want to tell you that winning is a gift, and the gift is progress. I also learned how to follow the marketing plan. Y'all, I have to go into y'all. I know about the money. And the money, follow the money trail. You ever heard somebody say, follow the money trail? When you follow the money trail, woo! What I'm telling you, you learn how to increase your income. And that's exactly what I want to do. Okay, here we go. Number 6. Oh my gosh, I'm going to keep going fast. So I don't keep you on here long, but I want you to know that image has always been a high priority. Now, I want you to write this down. I want you to know this. You have 7 seconds to make a good impression. 7 seconds to make a good impression. And people are watching you. Even when people around you may not be acting the way you choose to act, you choose to act that way, and your light will be elevated. The level of excellence, your timeliness, your ability to write cards. I'm just saying your image matters. And when if you're taking notes, will you write this down in the chat? I want you guys to write this down in the chat. I want you to write the words down, kindness. The word kindness down. Kindness matters. Your smile is your universal language, even behind a mask. It shows acknowledging people when you walk by them, encouraging words of lifting people up, acknowledging people. If you can make this your gift, if you have the heart to serve and always are loud about acknowledging what people do right, I promise you, you will absolutely love the results you gain. Absolutely love the results that you gain. So, here we go. Fitness. I know I talk about it a lot. Food and fitness. I talk about it a lot because it has to do with your energy. It has to do because for me, one of the greatest things I learned how to do was throw my energy. And when you throw your energy, someone's going to grab it. People love energy. That's why they love heat. That's why they love air conditioning. They love energy. They love lights. They love it. So how do you throw your energy? And part of it is, are you committed to your fitness? Are you really committed? Even walking, you guys. If you do nothing, let me be the push you need to get you off the couch and walking until it becomes comfortable. You guys, it's not a choice. Your image is important. Don't wear clothes that are too small for you. And don't wear clothes that are too big for you. And don't always wear black and brown and blue and gray. Let's do some color, you guys. Oh, I can talk about it a lot. But your image is important and it's fueled by your passion. Okay, number 7. Now, this is a big one right now. It's like big, but it's always big. Now, if I think back over the 32 years, embrace change. It has always been a requirement. Embracing change. Now, I'm going to leave that up there just for a second because I want you to, if you have already gone to Next with Gloria, I want you to write it in the chat. Write it in the chat. I already went to Next with Gloria. I already checked it out. And I'm going to be a quantum leaper. Because if you want to embrace change, if you want to embrace boldness, if you want to embrace next, if you want to embrace shift, if you know there's more to do in 2022, you are going to understand that embracing change is imperative. And guess what? Like I started talking about, we have to change a lot. Like we are changing, shifting, moving a lot. But I want to give you a couple of things. Number 1, you have the power to choose again. Just because you choose once doesn't mean that you can't choose again. So listen to me carefully. Stop being so afraid of making mistakes. When you are afraid to make a mistake, you are afraid to move. Stops you dead in your track. You are afraid to ask. You can't get to an answer if you don't ask. And is it always easy? No, but you can change to make it easy. Do you know that everything you do over and over and over and over and over again eventually becomes easy? It eventually becomes easy no matter what is hard for you. If getting up is hard for you, when you get up over and over and over again, it becomes easier for you. When it takes effort to do something that's hard, when you do it over and over and over. I always give this analogy. Taking a shower isn't easy. It's inconvenient. You got to start the water running. I mean, it starts to feel good now that we do it all the time. But think about if you were to write down everything you had to do from the time you got up to the time you walked out the door. It is a lot with a shower in between. But when you do it day in, day out, day in, day out, day in, day out, it becomes so easy. Boop, 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 boop. This is what we have to do. I used to tell my people all the time, if you don't book every day like a shower, every day, if you don't book every day, you're going to stink. If you don't take a shower every day, you're going to stink. So, you want to stink in your business? Don't book. You want to stink in your life? Don't shower. It's the same thing. It's the same. And whatever you think is hard eventually becomes easy. I'm going to tell you something. Social media has caused us to change. Operating in this pandemic causes us to change. Figuring out that little green dot causes us to change. Dealing with people causes us to change. I had to deal with a different career. I had to deal with a different husband. I had to deal with different parenting. I had to deal with different locations. I moved from Detroit to DC, to Boston, to Baltimore. And some of you have moved many more times. And they were able to move because they embraced change. And some of you should have moved, but didn't move because you were afraid. Maybe moving into a house, maybe in a different location, maybe just making friends. But because you were so afraid, you couldn't move. Embrace change. Next one. One of my favorite is support. Number 8 is support. And when I tell you it's one of my favorite, support caused my growth. Period. End of conversation. From the beginning, my support. And okay, I want you to understand this. Okay, work with me now. You don't have an S on your chest. There's no S there. There's no S for Superwoman. You got to have support. And I want you to know there's free support and there's paid support. And I'm going to go into this deeper because I talk to women about this all the time. And they always say to me, Gloria, when do I get support? When do I get support? And I always say to them, you get support when you're ready to grow, because you're not supposed to do absolutely everything. And maybe your kids will help you. Maybe you got those kind of kids. I did not. I did not have those kind of kids. Maybe I wasn't that kind of parent or whatever, but I was not that kind of kid that would have a lot that my kids would like. They would like staple, put labels on it. So they had to do other things, trust and believe. But I just want to tell you, I was thinking about some people who really made a difference. Cheryl, who I met at church early in my career, early. Juliana was a baby, and she was crying, and I really wanted to hear the service, and she was crying, and Cheryl came behind me with white gloves, and she said, "Can I serve you?" I was like, "Here." She took that baby, as beautiful as she was, took her over to the side, calmed her down. I could listen to the service. Ended up, she served me, then I served her. Cheryl started working for me. Then she became my roommate. She was everything. She was a great assistant. She was a great friend. She was a great babysitter. She was everything. I did things for her. She did things for me. Started off free, then ended up paid. As I got, you guys listen, as you get richer, so will the people around you, because you can serve them in many ways. I had Joyce, who was a live-in. My kids were young. I was a single parent, and I knew I was becoming a single parent. I could do a whole piece on how to judge good support. I could do a whole piece on how to manage good support so they stay with you for years. Joyce was with me for 11 years when I fell in love and married Ken, and he was moving me to Baltimore. And I asked Joyce if she was coming with me, and she said no. I literally laid in my bed with my thumb in my mouth in the fetal position for a long time. But I got down here because God is in control. My mom came to visit. My mom is like the best at finding, doing. She was at the airport talking to a guy who was handling her luggage, telling everybody I was looking for somebody. Bam. Found Darlene, the luggage guy, said his mom might help me out. She was with me for 17 years. I know. Craziness. Alta was my first, professional Mary Kay secretary. And she came to me because she wanted me to help her. And then she said, I'll help you. She was with me for years. Monica worked on my international team. Rolanda, secretary to my unit. Tony, like huge component to my business in terms of my unit manager. Huge. Angie O, business partner, personified. I would not have been able to navigate this without these powerhouse support people. And there are more. But I just want to give you an idea. My graphics, my clothes, my stylist, hair, just so many things. But I just want you to know support is important and it's worth it. Next point is people skills. This is a people business. And I always pull out people skills as something very different. And I have a whole chapter on it in my book, Quantum Leaps. But people skills is my secret sauce. And people skills needs to become your secret sauce. The way you make people feel. When I was talking and having a conference call this Monday, and it was one of my last conference calls for this particular group, in this particular position, one of the things that came across well is how you make people feel. What is your gift for how you make people feel? Different people have different gifts. I'm going to tell you something. I'm not the best at giving gifts. I am not. I'm not the best at selecting people's gifts. It's not my wheelhouse. It's not what I feel I do well. It doesn't give me joy. But some people love to do gifts. I love to give gifts. I love to do gifts. I love to, it just is what their joy is. So I'm here to tell you that you don't have to be everything to everything, but you have to want to treat people well. You have to know how to give recognition. You have to acknowledge, write this down. You have to acknowledge people's personalities and that they will have different personalities. You must always be curious, because when you're curious, you're interested in other people. You must always have a desire for learning. You must crush the power of your ego, because it's your ego that gets you twisted with people skills. And learning people skills is probably the most powerful thing you can do when you've decided to be around people. And I want you to know it is a skill. It's not kindness. Kindness is a piece of it. Just because you're kind, or just because you smile, or just because you this, or just because you that. It's all of it, you guys. All of it. Your ability to talk straight, your ability to talk strong, your ability to deliver directly, and how you do it is designed around your people skills. Because you could give someone direct input and make them feel amazing, and direct input and make them feel horrible. I would love to teach you more about people skills. And number 10, ooh-wee, super important, super important. Number 10, invest in me. Not me. That's what I want you to say. I want you to say, invest in me. Put your hand over your heart and say, invest in me. I invested in me. I invested in me. I invested in me with how I studied. I invested in me in the events that I went to. I invested in me in the things I signed up for. I invested in me in where I traveled. I invested in me when I shut down negative conversations. I invested in me when I walked away from people who gossiped. I invested in me when I didn't let other people's small thinking become my thinking. I invested in me when I decided to get some support, even some therapy after my divorce, to make me a better person. I invested in me when I made a decision as this is the way that I want my family to conduct themselves. I don't know what you want for your family, but I know what I want from my family. I invested in me that even though it was hard for me to read, reading was going to be important. So I had to do it anyway. I invested in me because my father told me, Gloria, if you would be your best you'll be best for your family, best for your community, best for your culture, best for by investing in you. See, every week I would go to the meetings. Every week I would show up. Why? Because it was an investment in me so I could invest better in others. I would sit there and I would watch the meetings. I would watch what would make them work, what wasn't so great. But I had to be there to do it. I wasn't sitting back wondering, how can they make this great for me? I was thinking, how could we make this great for us? I invested in me. And you guys, I have to tell you, the investment in you, in your skill set, in your energy, in your excellence, in your exercise, in all of it, invest in yourself. Stop thinking the best thing is for you to give your best to everybody else and leave a little bit for you. Take it and invest it in you so you can become better for everyone that's depending on you. I want you to write this one down. Teach people how to treat you. Teach people how to treat you. So when someone treats you in a way that you don't think is right, use your people skills to let them know. Like, you know how we leave messages for each other. Now, don't leave a message longer than 3 minutes. Don't leave a message for me longer than 3 minutes. I am not going to listen to it if it's longer than 3 minutes. Am not. And don't be long-winded for me because I'm fast. As you can see, I'm fast. But I tell people that. And you guys, I don't think it offends them. People who want to be kind to you will listen. And they'll say to you, I can do that or I can't do that. But if you don't teach them how to treat you, you're the one who loses. I had to accept me. My girlfriend, Jackie Glenn, who is the one who introduced me to this amazing opportunity, she said to me, I know my weaknesses and I embrace them. And I've said that over and over again. I know my weaknesses and I embrace them. And so I know my weaknesses and I embrace them. And I also know my wisdom. So when I tell you, I'm so glad you joined with me tonight. I'm so glad that you were part of this webinar. I'm so glad that you leaned in with me on my last moments as an active national. I'm so excited of where we're going next because of what I get to see you do. I want you to dig in. I want you to hear me say this. Go hard in the paint. There's nothing bad about going hard in the paint to make your dreams come true. I want you to hear it from me. This business, your business, your business can make dreams come true for you that you haven't even had a chance to dream yet. I hope that as you watch me and you see me live out loud, that you know I'm here to teach leadership. I'm here to teach life skills. And I'm here to teach sales skills. I want you to be a woman who leads. And I want you to embrace a woman who leads women. I want you to be super okay. Work with me now. Super bad all day long. I'm going to be super bad all day long. You guys connect with me. As it says, you can follow me because I want to follow you on Facebook, Instagram. I hope some of you right now say, woo, I got to start with Instagram and follow her and find her on Instagram, find her on Facebook, find her in the Power Huddle, find her in the next, like next with Gloria.com. And you see that number there? I hope when I go to my phone, I see so many text messages. And I hope you share me with those you love. And I get to share you with those I love. I want to wish you a very happy new year. And I want you to know, I do believe this. There's more to do in 2022. I believe that with all my heart. I love you so much. And thanks for hanging with me tonight. Love you. It's Gloria Mayfield. Thanks.